Good morning, and thank you for joining us here at Toronto Police Headquarters. We are going to be joined by Detective Robert Ermacora from our Financial Crimes Unit to detail an arrest that has been made in a fraudulent insurance card scam. Detective?
Thank you, David. Good morning, everyone. Just going to advise you of an investigation that's been ongoing for the last few months in relation to fraudulent liability insurance cards, otherwise known as pink slips. On Tuesday, October 28th, the year 2014, investigators from the Financial Crimes Unit in Toronto Police Service executed 3 criminal code search warrants in the area of Barrie Road and Stephen Drive, Finch Avenue West and Dufferin Street, Finch Avenue West and Norfinch Drive. As a result of that investigation and those search warrants, an individual by the name of Alexander Sheridan, age 73 years old, pictured here, was arrested and charged with several counts. It's alleged that he was selling fake or counterfeit liability insurance slips, otherwise known as pink slips. During this time that he sold those, he collected installments, mostly cash, from his victims over a period of time. Mr. Sheridan is not a licensed insurance broker. He is not affiliated with any insurance company or any insurance brokers, and he is not allowed legally to sell insurance. There, we believe, are a number of victims currently operating motor vehicles with non-valid insurance. We're asking if any of those people have purchased or have had contact with Mr. Sheridan to contact us. Several insurance companies involved have been liable and have paid out currently to date over $1 million in claims for people that believed that they were insured through several insurance companies and they were not. So Mr. Sheridan faces 2 counts of defrauding the public over $5,000, 2 counts of fraud over $5,000, and 2 counts of uttering forged documents. He is scheduled to appear on Tuesday, November 25th at 10 a.m. at Old City Hall, Courtroom 111. Again, we believe that there are more victims, and there's an issue with these people that believe that they are insured. We believe that they are not insured and are operating motor vehicles. Before I take any questions, I'm going to introduce Mr. Rick Dubin from the Insurance Bureau of Canada. He'd like to make a few comments, and we can take your questions.
Good morning. From a consumer standpoint and considering the exposure, insurance pink slip fraud is a very risky proposition. Ontario drivers, as you've just heard, might think that they're insured when in fact they're not. A legitimate pink liability slip, the acknowledgement that you have insurance on your vehicle, is a confirmation that you have a contract that exists between you and your insurance company. It also serves as confirmation that an approved and licensed representative bound coverage. Now think about this. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If someone offers you insurance in a donut shop rather than in their office, you really have to question the legitimacy of the transaction. Am I getting what I'm paying for? Ask yourself, am I going to be protected in the case of a collision? A red flag should go up immediately, and it's time to walk away from the deal. False pink slips are fraudulent and dangerous in that they raise serious coverage issues, and we need to raise awareness to the public about this issue. IBC and its member insurance companies, in partnership with law enforcement, are committed to preventing, investigating, and prosecuting insurance crime, and educating consumers about the cost and the consequences of insurance fraud. It is our hope that by working together, the insurance industry, police, and consumers will make it more difficult for criminals to put us at risk. Now, in this particular case, IBC, in partnership with member insurance companies, worked with police, sharing knowledge about insurance practices and false insurance slip concerns. IBC recommends that consumers take steps to exercise due diligence to ensure that you're protected. There are resources available to help you to determine if you have your insurance representative licensed as a legitimate broker or agent or representative of the insurance company. For the public, they can go to REBO, Registered Insurance Brokers of Ontario. They can go to FSCO, Financial Services Commission of Ontario, or they can go to IBC website at www.ibc.ca, and there's links there that will help the public verify the licensing of insurance companies, brokers, and agents. The more people are aware of insurance fraud and report it, the more investigations can be undertaken to bring insurance criminals to justice. We need your help in this fight. Please report suspicious activity by calling IBC's confidential tips line at 1-877-IBC-TIPS, which is 877-422-8477, or contact Crime Stoppers, anonymous tips line at 1-800-222-TIPS. Thanks very much.
And just before we take any questions, I just wanted to remind any of these victims that are operating their motor vehicles with fake insurance or non-existent insurance, they're subject to enforcement by police officers that do daily activities. If they get stopped and it's discovered that they don't have insurance on those vehicles, they will be facing a first-time fine of $5,000. So we're encouraging anybody that, again, has had any dealings with Mr. Sheridan or any purchased insurance from them to contact us immediately. Don't operate their motor vehicles. And they can contact us by calling the main number 416-808-2222 and report this to us.
Detective Ermacora, is that how you became aware of this scam, through someone being pulled over? Or can you just speak to how it all came about?
Absolutely, Catherine. That's exactly how this investigation came to light. It was a routine vehicle stop, and a fake insurance card was discovered, and subsequent investigation led us here today.
Unsuspecting victim?
I don't know if our victims are unsuspecting, but I do believe that they believe they have valid insurance.
Can you just speak to how this suspect goes about selling insurance to his victims?
I don't want to get into too much detail about specifically how it does it, because it's a currently active criminal investigation, but it's through word of mouth, basically.
Detective, you said over $1 million in claims. How many victims would you say there are that you are aware of?
There's a significant number of victims that I believe are out there currently, in the number range of over 100.
And how many of those people have you spoken with, would you say?
A small fraction.
What would happen if your car was hit by one of these drivers?
You will not be covered under the insurance.
If I have insurance and one of these drivers...
If you have insurance, you will be covered, but these individuals are operating motor vehicles without insurance.
And what was the draw for people to buy something like this? I mean, I guess there may be some red flags, but what was it that...
I believe they believed there was a discounted rate for most cases.
Don't most of these people look for these types of insurance, though? Are they victims, or you sit down at a coffee shop, you got a good rate, you're going to sign the paper? Or they know what they're buying, don't they?
I don't believe they know what they're buying, because if they believe that they were insured, they may believe, again, that they're getting discounted rates. And this is more of a public information. Like I said, we have Rick here from the Insurance Bureau. You don't buy insurance from somebody in a donor shop. You do your due diligence, buyer beware, and purchase from licensed insurance companies, licensed brokers.
How far back is this? The area where the search warrants were executed, is that primarily where the suspect was operating?
I can say that the victims are throughout the Greater Toronto area.
You know, every insurance agent seems to be affiliated with the company. How did this man present himself? Like, what was his spiel? Can you give us an idea?
Again, I don't want to get into that, only because it's an ongoing criminal investigation, like I said, Catherine, and those details are significant to my investigation.
But speaking about that $1 million in claims, just explain to us what that means.
Well, what I can get into, what I can say is that there were claims made by victims who believed they were insured, and in fact, they weren't insured. And as a result, insurance companies have had to pay out and were liable in these claims.
Back does this date?
This goes back early 2013.
Which insurance companies was your?
I'm not going to name the insurance companies because they're, again, it's still an active criminal investigation, and it wouldn't be fair to name just a couple because there's several.
Do you believe that he was alone in this?
At this point, my belief is he's the only suspect in my investigation.
So when you say insurance companies had to pay it out, do they pay it so the person who is insured, that company has to pay for the other victim? Or how does that work?
Again, I'm not going to get into the specific details, but the insurance companies were liable and have had to pay out claims.
Which insurance company, sorry?
Again, I'm not going to name the insurance companies.
How do you
In
know
which-
that they're not doing that, though, to get these claims?
I'm sorry?
You get fake insurance at a donut shop so that you can put a claim in later.
Well, it's not necessarily to put a claim in later. These people believe that they're operating their motor vehicles with real insurance, and it's not. It's counterfeit slips.
So most of them were not involved in an accident then? They just were
Correct.
driving around?
Correct.
So it wasn't like they were making claims?
That's correct.
fraudulent
It's not a claim insurance scam. It's strictly counterfeit insurance slips where Alexander Sheridan, again, is alleged to have been profiting from.
Can you tell us about Mr. Sheridan? Where is he now? Obviously, you said he's in court later in the month, but in the meantime, what's happening with him?
He's currently out on bail. He did make a brief appearance in court last week and was released from custody.
What was his bail to him?
I believe it was $7,500.
So I just want to make sure I understand, claims were actually paid out though because of these loans? You're saying
Correct.
insurance, okay.
Yes. All right. Okay.
Detective Ermacora, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
That's going to conclude our press conference. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your presence, and the detective can answer any questions you may have afterwards.